I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats.
This is my job and I have to determine the best rider for our factory team. I also have to determine the best driver for the other team. I have to think this week, he continued. Apart from that, Daligna seemed to be the happiest man in yesterday's French series. How come? The racers showed extraordinary actions. Jorge showed extraordinary racing ability, not only during the race but throughout the week, he said. I'm very proud of what he's accomplished and that he's on our team. Regarding his failure to win the title, Bagnaia admitted that his two rivals this time were indeed faster than him. The Ducati racer admitted that he had tried his best but did encounter difficulties in the final laps. I tried to do my best, but we have to look at this weekend in a positive way, Bagnaia said after the race. How will the Ducati boss make decisions for his team? What do you think about Marc Marquez after the 2024 French MotoGP? And here is the full news. The flashy performance of the Ducati riders, including Marc Marquez in the 2024 French MotoGP, turned out to make the boss, Gigi Daligna, dizzy. As is known, he is now formulating the best composition for the factory team. One hot seat has been officially secured by Francesco Bagnaia until the end of the 2026 season. That means Daligna can only take one more racer for the factory Ducati. Several candidates performed well in the French series. Jorge Martin, Marc Marquez, and Enea Bastianini compactly showed their sharpness. One of those who got the spotlight was the baby alien. Daligna was actually not surprised to see the 8-time world champion win second place. The boss even admitted that he had to think hard to determine the seat of the factory Ducati racer following Marquez's action yesterday. He is Marc Marquez, said Daligna, reported by Juare.net from Crash.net. Of course he can do that kind of thing. Decisions are becoming increasingly difficult to make. This is my job and I have to determine the best rider for our factory team. I also have to decide the best rider for the other teams. I have to think this week, he continued. Apart from that, Daligna seemed to be the happiest man in the French series yesterday. How not? The riders showed such extraordinary action. Jorge showed an extraordinary race, not only during the race but throughout the week, he said. I am very proud of what he has achieved and because he is on our team. However, Pecco also rode well, as did Marc. Enea Bastianini also set the best lap time at the end of the session. He was able to take back the position over Vinales. I am really proud of our riders, added Daligna. On the other hand, Ducati Lenovo rider Francesco Bagnaia experienced unlucky luck at the 2024 French MotoGP race session. In the race last weekend, Bagnaia, who was close to winning, was overtaken on the last lap. Bagnaia lost the first position after being overtaken by Jorge Martin. Unfortunately, he then lost his second position because he was cornered by Marc Marquez. Bagnaia finally had to settle for finishing in third position. Regarding his failure to win the title, Bagnaia admitted that his two rivals this time were indeed faster than him. The Ducati racer admitted that he had tried his best but did encounter difficulties in the final laps. I tried to do my best, but we have to look at this weekend in a positive way, Bagnaia said after the race. Friday went in a perfect way and then there was a little problem in the sprint that didn't allow us to finish the race. Today, both Martin and Marquez were faster. I tried to do my best, but in the last few laps I struggled to get something more, which is the opposite of Jerez, said Bagnaia. Although not too satisfied with third place, Bagnaia tried to see the positive side. The Ducati main driver is also determined to improve in the next series in Barcelona. But anyway, we improved a little on this track. Last year I crashed and 2 years ago I crashed, so it was important to finish the race and we did it quickly. I'm happy with that, but with third place I'm never really satisfied. Let's go to Barcelona and try to improve a little bit, he explained. In other information, after what happened at the French Grand Prix, defending MotoGP world champion Francesco Bagnaia already knows who his tough rivals are in defending the title this season. The Ducati Lenovo team racer believes Jorge Martin and Marc Marquez are the main threats. Pecco, Bagnaia's nickname, feels the three of them are the main protagonists in the hunt for the 2024 MotoGP title. During the race at the Bugatti circuit, Le Mans, Sunday, Pecco Bagnaia was again involved in a battle with fellow decides riders Martin, Pramac Racing, and Marquez, Gresini Racing. In the end it was Jorge Martin who came out on top, claiming his second Grand Prix top step of the season. He also extended his lead at the top of the standings to 38 points over Bagnaia. Pecco Bagnaia, who led for most of the 27-lap French GP race, had to accept the fact of finishing third after being overtaken by Marc Marquez at the end of the race. Being the runner-up in the main race as well as the sprint at Le Mans made Marquez soar in the standings. He is now in third place with 89 points, 40 points adrift of Martin and 2 points behind Bagnaia. Looking at how the weekend at Le Mans went, Pecco Bagnaia believes that he, Martin and Marquez are the three best on the grid after 5 GPs this season in terms of consistency. It is no surprise then that the two-time Premier Class world champion considers the French GP as a picture or preview of who will be involved in the 2024 MotoGP title race. For me, right now, the three of us are the most complete riders in the championship. The other riders are fast enough to have great performances and be able to win races. But I think in terms of speed and consistency, we are the most complete riders, Bagnaia was quoted as saying by Motorsport. And, without the crash that Jorge, Martin, had in Jerez, the top three of the Spanish GP, I think it would be the same as here, Le Mans. So, I think for the title fight, it will be more or less like this, he added. Pecco may be too quick to assume, but if you look at the trend after 5 rounds of the 2024 season, his analysis makes sense. So far, only 3 riders have won a GP. Pecco Bagnaia and Jorge Martin twice each. The other rider is Maverick Vinales. However, after the victory at the American GP, the Aprilia Racing rider struggled to break into the top 3. Meanwhile, Marc Marquez is increasingly comfortable on the Ducati decides after leaving the factory Honda team. The 8-time world champion has been on the podium a total of 5 times, 3 of them sprint runners-up. Many believe it is only a matter of time before the baby alien can win his first victory with Gresini this season. Marquez's performance also makes him now likely to be promoted to the Ducati team officials.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad, oh baby's hella bad. After her there ain't no coming back. Wanna take a run at that. I think she's feeling me, turn it up a few degrees. My imagination of her body gets the best of me. Oh gosh, she's such a tease, bitten lips, bruised knees. I'm addicted to her, need her touching me, cause she got a bad little waist. And we tearing down this place, off the liquor that we chase. Casamigos to the face, baby I don't need no space. Coming closer for a taste, and I'll show you how I make everything just fade away. Cause she's like sex, drugs,